And that made me really thinking about what is a man's worth, right? What's the worth of a man? And I think it damn sure is not money. Hey guys, welcome to the High Ground. My name is Fabio, and today I'd like to share another, just story from my life thought that came up. And so this will be another talking video. So, as some of you might know, I'm working with the fire department here in our village. And maybe 6 months ago, a friend from the fire department died. He had a sudden heart attack at home. He was a little bit older, he was 60. And he was a very well-liked friend. And we, of course, all miss him. Now, yesterday was his birthday. It's now late in December. And we all gathered, and he was a farmer, so we gathered at his farm. A lot of people, we ate something, we drank, we had a big fire going, people were holding speeches, and we were there just remembering him because it was his birthday. And that made me think about a few things. So first of all, he was, well, it might sound mean, but on first view he was nobody special. He wasn't in any elite tier 1 unit in the military. Of course, he did his military service, as almost everybody does here in Switzerland. He was not an outstanding athlete, or not even on the front line when there was a fire, because of course he was a little bit older, right? So he stayed a little bit more in the back. And he was not rich. So he, as I said, he was a farmer. He has, or had, his cows down there, and he butchered themselves, and was selling the meat, and that was his life. He has a dog and a wife, and that's more or less it. And I was looking around yesterday, and I thought, well, there are a lot of people here. I mean, if I make a party for my birthday, I might have half as much people that come. And of course, together with somebody dying, it's always special if there is another party for him. But still, I thought this guy meant a lot to a lot of people, and this made me asking, hey, what's the worth of a man? So, and of course, if we talk about, well, what's his worth, then we often talk about his net worth, his wealth, his income, his maybe professional position. And I think those are actually, this can be a metric of success, because if you have money, it allows you to exchange it against valuable stuff, right? But I also think that there are really a lot of things that are more worth than money. And I think he had them, obviously, because regardless how much money you have, if you won't have as many people attending your birthday, your after funeral birthday, if you didn't mean something to them. I mean, at least not if they don't expect to get some of your money. Of course, we could now say there were hundreds of millions of people, well, maybe not hundreds of millions, but millions of people at the Queen's funeral. And that's true, but I think she also meant something to people beyond her wealth, right? I don't know how many people will be there at Bill Gates' funeral, or one of the other Silicon Valley billionaires. I don't know. So now I thought, hey, he he obviously had a lot of value to a lot of people. And what did he do? I mean, as said, he was on first sight, he was nobody special. But or not, but maybe to reiterate it, he lived on a farm. He was a voluntary firefighter. He was playing cards once a week, and I mean, sometimes actually, if you looked at him, right, he had this dark brown tan from always being out in nature, and huge hands, and he always looked a little bit grumpy with a huge beard, and he despite all that, or maybe because all of that, he meant a lot to a lot of people. And when you listen to the people telling stories about him, it was always something about how he was as a man. He listened to people, and if you asked him, you got an opinion that came straight from his heart, right? So that's a takeaway. I don't think that he tried to fool people or portray a picture of himself that he wasn't. He was just himself, and maybe that's already attractive for itself. And also, what people said, well, if you needed something, he was there. So yes, he was in the fire department. He wasn't the one running in a fire, but he was the one who actually helped you if there was a zipper broken at your pant, or if something on you with your helmet was wrong, and he helped you fix it. I mean, and these are not the heroes. These are maybe the unsung heroes. Um, but whenever I needed something, new pants or whatever, he was there, right? And he made sure that we all had the gear to actually go out and help people and fight fires and rescue people out of cars and floodings and stuff. So um, he was not in the front line, and he actually didn't need the spotlight. So we had a lot of festivities with the fire department and also in the village, right? I talked about that in a previous video. I think it's important to be there. But when he was there, he always was a little bit in the background, right? Sitting there with a few friends, drinking beer. And he never sought out the spotlight. But still, everybody knew him and knew that he was there. And I think that's maybe a good pattern that we can copy. He was not a man who was really looking for attention, but he was just there and you could rely on him. He was honest and gave you an unfiltered opinion, not sugarcoating stuff. But I also never saw him being mean. And maybe now that I think of it, I mean, I think you can see a lot of about people when you look at how they treat things or people who are weaker, right? And whenever I saw him handling his animals, I mean, he had an incredible amount of passion with his dog and with his cows, and they genuinely made the impression that they liked him, even though, of course, at some point they got butchered and were made into steaks and then ultimately sold from his farm. But still, I think those are some very good character traits that we all can learn from him, and maybe that we can try model our behavior after. Yeah, that was just a few thoughts that I wanted to share with you about the worth of a man, what a man can do to actually get to this worth. And it all doesn't have to do with things, it has to do with being there and um, standing there for your friends or at the side of your friends. And yeah, so yeah, said just a few brief thoughts that I wanted to share. Um, I'll be out for next week for Christmas. There won't be a video, but at the latest in January, I'll see you again. So maybe I take 1 or 2 weeks off. I wish you all a very Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, if that's also there. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.